the very beginning of this episode, Amara ends up finding out that her father is really sick, so she decides that she's going to go to the DR to visit him, and while she's packing her bag, she ends up getting a visit from Safaree. Safaree decided to go visit Amara because the last few times they saw each other, they weren't really in a good place, and so before she goes to the DR, he wants to make sure that they talk. Now, during this conversation between Amara and Safaree, she ends up getting really emotional talking about her relationship with her father. She said that she's really upset at the fact that when she was younger, they didn't really have a relationship because he wasn't around that much. She also stated that she fears that she's creating the same reality for her own twin daughters. Now, instead of Safaree giving Amara the comfort that she needed in that moment, which was probably a hug so that she can feel like he cares about her and that she's safe talking to him and opening up, he decided to basically tell her that she needs to suck it up and move forward. And my thing is, I don't think that he was wrong for telling her that she needs to move forward, because I really don't think that you should let the things that happened to you in your past hinder you. But at the end of the day, she did need some type of support, and I don't really feel like he was giving her that. Now, because Amara felt like Safaree was being really cold towards her, she ended up bringing up the stuff that he does on social media, because just before he got to her house, he ended up making a post saying that FaceTime sex is better than real sex, and she got really upset about that because she feels like he's been sleeping with somebody else or having FaceTime sex with somebody else, because she says that they've never done that together. Safaree got so annoyed at Amara bringing up the stuff that he posts on social media that he decided to walk out of her house and try to leave. So he jumped in his car, and Amara ends up running outside to where his car is. And before he could drive off, she ended up questioning him about the post that he made on social media, because obviously she said that they've never had FaceTime sex. So how would he know that that's better than real sex? And he tried to say that she doesn't even know if what he's posting is real, because he did tell her a few episodes ago that he posts things on social media to keep up his reputation and to keep people talking. But I can understand where Amara's coming from, because at the end of the day, nobody wants the guy that they're linked to or a guy that they're in a relationship with posting stuff like that on social media, especially because she knows that they never had FaceTime sex before. So she knows that when he's talking about this, he's reminiscing about somebody else that's not her. But at the end of the day, she should have listened to what everybody was telling her when they said not to get involved with Safaree because of the way that he is. I can understand that you don't want people telling you how somebody is. You want to learn for yourself. But now she's sitting here arguing with him, being all stressed out over this relationship with him, when the two of them are not even serious about each other, because they said they're not even in a relationship. They're just dating. Trick Daddy's friend Carla ends up coming to his house to talk to him about mentoring her twin daughters who really want to get involved in the music industry, and she feels like Miami is the right place for them to be if they really want to become successful in music. Now, he did say that he would help them, but he doesn't really feel like they're serious about getting involved in the music industry, and she insists that they're ready to be a part of it and to be serious about it, and she tells him that she also wants them to stay at his home. Trick said that he didn't want them staying at his house because he feels like they're not as respectful of his property as he feels like they should be. They invite their friends over, they leave their stuff everywhere, and he just feels like it'll be too chaotic of an environment to be in. But he did agree to mentor them, but Carla insisted that they stay at his house, and so he ended up agreeing with her. But my thing is, I feel like she's asking him for too much. Asking him to mentor them is one thing, but asking him to mentor them and also have them stay at his house is asking for a little bit too much for me. If he says that he didn't want them staying at his home, I feel like she should have respected that. And my thing is, just because he's involved in the music industry and that's her close friend, doesn't mean that he should try to get her daughters into the music industry if they're not really serious about it. Because just because you know somebody who's involved in the music industry doesn't mean that you belong in it. And on top of that, he ended up bringing them to the studio in this episode, and they weren't good at all. And so I feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the two of them. They definitely have the look, and they definitely are really pretty. And I'm not saying that they're not talented, but once they got into the studio, they didn't really do that well. Vonshae and Gunplay end up going out for a celebration dinner with Vonshae's parents and her mentor because she's graduating from university, which I think is great. But Vonshae ended up ruining her own graduation celebration dinner because she ended up forcing her mother and Gunplay to have a conversation. Now, Vonshae's mom did tell her that she wanted to have a conversation one-on-one with Gunplay at some point, but I don't think that she meant she wanted to have it at the celebration dinner. You can tell that both Gunplay and Vonshae's mom was uncomfortable with having this conversation, but Gunplay ended up talking about the 3-page letter that his that her mother wrote him, and he was really upset at the things that she was saying in it, and I think he really wants an apology from her because she was really talking negatively about his parents, and he was really upset about that, which I do think that he has a right to be upset at the fact that her mother wrote a letter talking negatively about him and his family. But at the same time, I do think that sometimes he gets a little bit too hyped up in the conversation, and I don't feel like he needs to take things to that level. Vonshae's mom wasn't really trying to listen to anything that Gunplay had to say because she kept trying to tell him that the letter wasn't about him, it was about her daughter and what she wanted for her daughter and how she wasn't okay with the choices that Gunplay has made in his past. But he didn't want to hear anything that she had to say either, and so the conversation ended and he ended up storming off and leaving the dinner. Now, Vonshae's mother was really upset at the way that he was acting, especially towards his wife, so he started making threats and he takes his microphone off and he ends up walking out of the restaurant. Now, I do feel like Vonshae needs to take accountability for this happening in front of her mentor because she sat there and forced her mother and her husband to have a conversation, knowing that they didn't like each other and knowing that it was potentially going to get over the top between the two of them, and she made them do it anyway. So if she ends up not being able to be mentored and recommended for jobs by this man anymore because of the way that her family ended up acting, then that's going to be on her. Safaree claimed in this episode that he needed some relationship advice because things are not really going well with Amara, and out of all people he decided to go to, he ended up going to Ray J, which is crazy to me because who the hell is going to go to Ray J for any type of relationship advice? All he does is stir the pot, and then on top of that, him and Princess are filing for divorce from each other every other month, so I don't understand why he would go to him. Now, Ray J was right about some things. Like, he was right when Safaree said that he didn't really comfort Amara the way that she felt she needed to be comforted when she was crying. Ray J was right that, Safaree should have embraced her, gave her a hug, and made her feel like she was safe with him. But he was wrong about everything else that he said because he ended up pulling up a picture of Amara in the DR that she posted on IG, and she was all dressed up and all smiles and happy, and he claimed that he doesn't understand why Amara is smiling and she's all dressed up like that when she's supposed to be in the DR because her father is really sick. Safaree's sitting there eating up everything that Ray J is saying at the moment, and he's claiming that that's probably the reason why Amara keeps accusing him of cheating because she's actually the one that's cheating, and now he's believing everything that Ray J is saying, so he thinks that she's in the DR messing around with her children's father, and that's crazy to me because I don't think that she was there messing with her children's father. I really do think that she went there because her father was sick. Now, whether she saw him or not, I do not know, but I know that she was there because her father was really sick, and I feel like Ray J is trying to stir the pot because he really doesn't have any drama going on in his relationship with Princess at the moment. Shay ended up getting her mother and her boyfriend Fabo to sit down to have a one-on-one conversation to work out whatever issues that they have with each other, and basically Shay's mother told him that she felt like he disrespected her at the birthday party and she really wanted him to apologize to her because that's what Shay said that he wanted to do, was apologize. But he claims that he doesn't feel like he disrespected anyone and he doesn't feel like he has anything to apologize for. Now, Shay's mother told him that she feels like he needs to apologize for raising his voice at her, and that was the only thing that he agreed to apologize for, and basically he tried to blame the whole thing on MJ, which is crazy to me because I don't feel like MJ caused anything to escalate. He did what any of us would have done if somebody was being aggressive with our mothers, which is step in and defend her, and that's exactly what he did. He was being really rude to Shay's mom during this conversation, even though she kept her composure the entire time. She didn't raise her voice at him. She didn't disrespect him. She didn't call him any names. She wasn't even talking to him in a rude way, but he was talking to her really, really rude, and he was being very disrespectful, and literally he didn't care about anything that this woman had to say. This woman did not do anything wrong to him but tell him that she was going to give Shay's dog back because the baby turned 1 year old, and that was the agreement between her and Shay. Now, if he's upset at the fact that she has this dog still after she had this dog with another man, then that's his problem and he needs to work that out with Shay. But for him to disrespect her mother when she's just giving the dog back because that's what she agreed to do, I don't think that that was right at all, and I feel like he needs to take accountability for that. She told him that the reason why she wanted to sit down and have this conversation with him is because she wants to build a relationship with him. She wants to get along with him, but he basically told her that he doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't want her around. He doesn't want to deal with her, and he doesn't want to see her anymore. And so she told him that he doesn't ever have to see her again. And then she told him that she does not want Shay to marry him. And as soon as she said that she didn't want Shay to marry him, this man hopped up out of his seat, stood up over her, was yelling and swearing, pointing down at her head, telling her that she's a bitch, and just swearing at her to the point where security had to come in and pull him away from this woman. Why would he do this to an elderly woman? That's crazy to me. If he would do that to Shay's mother, I'm wondering what he does when him and Shay get into it. Shay ends up coming back into the room, and that's when her mother tells her not to marry that man because it's going to be the biggest mistake of her life. And instead of Shay staying there to comfort her mother, she ended up leaving with Fabo. And I think that that's crazy because I wouldn't leave with this man after he just disrespected my mother to the point where security had to come out. Later on in this episode, Shay's mother ended up meeting up with MJ, and she was really emotional because she said that she got a text message from Shay saying that she wanted some space. And so now she feels like because of the situation between her and Fabo, she's not going to be able to be around Shay or the baby anymore. And so she was crying, and that really upset me to see that because I know that Shay's mother is not perfect and she hasn't been the perfect mom. But her and Shay made up and their relationship has been really good, and I would hate to see it fall apart over this guy. And so MJ got really upset and said that he's going to confront Fabo because he doesn't like the way that he's treating his mother. And I don't feel like MJ is wrong in this situation. I feel like he's right. It's the day after Vonshae's celebration dinner, and she was really upset with Gunplay, and he was sitting at the table eating food, laughing at whatever video he was watching on his phone, and this really pissed her off because he's really sitting there acting like nothing happened after he just made a scene at her celebration dinner in front of her parents and her mentor. But she does need to take accountability for this because she should have never got her husband and her mother to have a conversation at this celebration dinner in front of her mentor when she knows that they don't like each other and that the last time they had a conversation it didn't end well, and so I don't know why she thought it was going to end well this time. She started telling Gunplay that he needs to grow up and act like a man, and I do think that she's right about what she's saying, but I think that the way that she's saying it is going to make it a bigger fight than what it needs to be. But she did tell him that she wants him to stop drinking because during this conversation he admitted that the only reason why he reacted the way that he did to her mother was because he was actually drunk, which he has a drinking problem, and I don't understand why he would get drunk and go to his wife's celebration dinner when he knows that both her parents and her mentor was going to be there. That's disrespect to the highest level, and she did tell him that she wanted him to stop drinking, but he didn't tell her that he was going to stop. He told her that he was going to try, but how long is she going to stay with him while he tries to get his drinking under control? At the very end of this episode, Amara finally returns from the DR, and she says that her father's cancer is not back, but that he still is sick, but that when she left the DR, he was doing well, and that she had a really great trip. And her and Safaree end up meeting up with each other, and Safaree's in a really good mood when he comes to see her. He's joking around and being playful, but Amara does not want to be playful with him because she's still upset at the fight that they had before she left to the DR. Amara ends up telling Safaree that she was upset that he didn't comfort her when she was breaking down crying and trying to open up to him, and he basically tried to dismiss everything that she was saying and claimed that she was in the DR because she was trying to mess with her ex. And she got really upset about him saying that she was trying to, mess with her ex, because he sat there and said this and then also said that she was thirst trapping with the pictures that she put on social media. And my thing is, he can't get mad at what she posts on social media when he posts things on social media all the time that upsets her, and he claims that he just does it because it's for his image. So him getting upset because she was all dressed up in a picture is crazy to me. And the fact that he went to Ray J for advice is stupid because now look what happened. The two of them are arguing with each other. He tells Amara that he doesn't feel like she's over her ex, which she's probably not over him because she was just crying a few episodes ago about the relationship not working out. But she tells him that he's not over Erica either. And my thing is, he's definitely not over Erica either because while this was filming, he was also filming Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And he told Spice that he was still sleeping with Erica. And then Erica ended up pulling out text messages of him telling her that he loves her and wants to be with her. So I do feel like he's not necessarily fully over his situation either. Although I know that he doesn't want to be with Erica, he still leads her on and makes her think that he wants to. So I don't understand why he's upset if Amara still has feelings for her ex. The two of them just shouldn't be together anyway. I don't even know why the two of them decided to get together in the first place. She starts telling him that a lot of companies don't want to do business with her because of her link to him, but he starts yelling about how she's only getting attention because she's with him, that before she got with him, she wasn't getting any attention, and this pissed the both of them off, and the two of them start yelling at each other. He starts calling her a bird, he starts calling her a bitch, and she takes a drink and throws it at him, and I just feel like this relationship between the two of them is done. Like, they just started messing around with each other, and they already have all these types of issues when it's supposed to be the honeymoon stage, and they're supposed to be be like infatuated with each other at the beginning. And the fact that it's not like that for the two of them just shows that there's a big red flag and they just should not be dealing with each other. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.